Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of DigiBytes. And today we have Raghav with us, who is a data expert and a mentor. Uh, and we have discussed so many topics, Raghav, with you before. And today, I want to have another interesting discussion. We have talked a lot about data manipulation, data visualization, and even technical stuff like related to Snowflake, Qualtrics, and a lot of other things. But there is another important aspect of data, which is very, very critical for today's time, where we are generating millions, billions of data records every second, every day. So, for such a huge data from different variety of sources, there is one important term which is called as data governance. It includes a lot of parts like advanced data security, how to combine data from different systems, and how to scatter it to different systems in different forms based on their requirements. So, like considering all these different aspects, do you have any ideas or any suggestions, a solution which can solve all these problems together and can be very beneficial for organization to reduce costs and to maintain everything in a very organized and easy manner?
Yeah.
So over to you, Raghav.
No, I think it's a very good question. Thank you, Vaibhav, for calling me, first of all, again. I mean, it's our own channel and we do these discussions regularly. So, data governance is definitely a problem, right? There might be many people who might have gone to, I'll make it technical for a second. They open up a table and let's say Norway as NO in the country field, NR, something else, NORWAI. That's master data management. So how the data looks, we don't know. Sometimes there is a field like, let's say randomly, I said there's a column called status. What does the status really mean? The status means this means, but let's say there is a document somewhere, right? Okay, in an X source system, all the data which comes for the column country is NO means Norway, right? And another document where it says that in all the source systems, wherever the status field is XYZ, it means this. So there's a definition which is missing in most of the organizations. It's a very standard problem. And it is tough because, and this problem is bigger in bigger organizations because they have so many different source systems, right? They have so much of data going on. For their business to grow, they might add a new source, they might add a new database, they might add anything new any day because for them, getting the business done is more important. So this is this federated data model or the distributed data model, which is running very well for companies. Because at the end of the day, the sales guy or the operational person at the ground will not worry about how it is everywhere because they want to take care of the business. That's number one. How do we solve it? I don't. If we can have a standard data governance team who can continuously monitor and effectively do it, agreed, they can do it. But it's not always possible, right? Uh, let's say they form a central data governance team, right? Uh, and if they are only supposed to do everything, right, there will be problems like how is this particular. Let me take an example. And every company sends an order, customer gives an order, right? And on that order, you'll have multiple products, right? What does that each product mean? Somebody should be able to know. Who knows better? The business process owner or the domain owner who is actually dealing with that particular order catalog or product catalog knows more than a centralized data governance team, right? So if this centralized data governance team can talk to this business data owner every day and help the business data owner do the governance for them in a centralized fashion, that becomes more powerful. Okay. And this architecture, why I did give you such a big introduction is this is called a data mesh architecture nowadays, which is going on. So there were traditionally teams where there is centralized data team, they do everything and we will push it out. But there's a lot of delays, right? Now getting the business people involved in the data governance, in the data management, and handling a data product at the end of the day. That is what it is. So data governance team, data management team, along with the business person coming on board, that combination creates a final data product which the business team can use. So this is called a data mesh architecture, and it's running well. I think it's still in its very basic stages, but the solution, data mesh architecture, if we can implement very well. Yeah. Hope I could
So
explain.
yeah, it's I was a lovely explanation, but again, I will try to combine your points together. So what you are trying to say is that in a big organization where different product owners or maybe different business users have different sets of requirements, adhering their request to a centrally managed team is not a good idea because it creates a lot of restrictions for them, because they as a business owners are well aware of the fact what they need, but communicating and then channelizing that request and testing and doing all other stuffs creates a lot of consumption of time as well as cost. So instead of going in this way, we have a concept of data mesh which can easily like doable in a decentralized format, and managing that would be a like icing on the cake.
Correct. So yeah, few things there, right? I think centralized data team decentralizing their business domain knowledge to respective business teams, right? And those business teams giving the making sure your platform is stronger. That is data mesh too, in a way, right? Yeah, you can still have a data centralized data team, but they don't have any domain knowledge. They are just data engineers or data managers or data analysts or data scientists. Now they don't know what does that status field mean. Let's say if the status field means cancelled, what does cancel really mean? They don't know, right? So the cancelled it means, and let's say you're doing some development in Fiji or Indonesia, cancelled means different there, and cancelled means different in a business where we are operating in South Africa. Different, right? Estimate here, quotation here. It can be anything different, right? So that's um, business knowledge with one centralized team. Are they part of the mesh? They are part of the mesh, right? You're in the middle, and they're part of the mesh around you. Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah.
So do we have any kind of practical examples of it, or how this data mesh actually works, or what kind of tools I need, or how it works in a technical if I talk in technical terms?
Mhm. Whatever the world is, the biggest part of any particular job, even in the data mesh architecture, is understanding your data. So one thing, if this video is being watched by a fresher or a big leader in the company, go understand your data. Just open up, download your data in multiple Excel sheets. Action item, right? What should they do? Download your data in multiple Excel sheets. Just take randomly 10 or 15 tables, download your data Excel sheet, and you can clearly see a theme of data flowing which is not in sync. If you
Definitely.
have, if you're able to connect one Excel sheet data to another Excel sheet data, your company has very good data. If you're not able to connect, and there is, but you're able to see similar patterns, let's say you're not able to exactly connect but able to similar patterns, think about data mesh, because the power of the data is already there. You're not able to connect. You have to put a data governance layer in between and create a product out of it such that the company can grow fast. It's a paradigm, it's a concept, right? There is no, it can it be implemented with any tools and technology? The answer is yes. You would need a system where it's a system, right? It's a system and a process. It's not a implementation. Right? It's an idea, right? So how do you implement this idea is there should be a process where what are the different businesses?
Okay.
Okay, I have 10 businesses in my organization, which align to my topmost goal of executing the company's goal, right? So you have standard 10 businesses, example, everybody can have different business. So these business should have a business data owner. Okay. And that business data owner should be partly technical and business. Very important, that particular role. Right? It's an execution path. And they voice the requirements for the centralized data platform. So you organize your entire company in such a way to work. The mesh architecture to work is more of a business data architecture of the company. So if you want to get into it, you need to really have that buy-in from the topmost CIOs, CDOs, CEOs, because, okay, we are doing this because this will help us solve because that generates speed. Because you don't have to, let's say we have like 200 source systems. You want to dump all the 200 source systems into your data lake first, and from there start building your analytics. You're going to take forever.
So
It's going to
basically,
take.
what we are trying to say is that we are Cartesian product, the verticals and the horizontals of the business together. So in that way, we have expertise of each technology or whatever things we required with each business.
Correct. We are not creating silos though, right? We are not creating silos. We are taking the advantage of silo to create a long-term centralized data platform, right? So everybody says, oh, is this creating a silo? No, it's not creating a silo. It's a directional way. Today, people who will implement data mesh architecture, whose data is not very well, first of all, right? They all know in the company that our data is not well, we are not able to generate speed. Oh, I want to grow $12 million in that particular business. Okay. If you see, everybody will start generating data, there'll be rush of all of a sudden. If this data was so nicely available in data lake, you won't need this. So companies already know that they are in such kind of problems, right? So those kind of but the point is, this business data owner and the IT piece of it, or the data centralized data team, they are combinationally creating a data product. And this data product system will be listed for the entire organization. Okay. So now we have, let's say, invoices, right? We're just talking about invoices. Let's say we have an invoice data set for the entire organization listed. A new silo will not start coming in. So a business data owner who owns finance, and an IT data management company, they know their best practices. These guys know best practices. They figure out a mesh problem right now. Might be it is not nicely coming into everything, but they create a product out of it. This product, everybody in the company is using it. So it's still centralized. The underlying phenomena of architecture is not centralized. And now that data product is created, now they'll put a roadmap for next 1 or 2 years to create everything into data lake, right? And from data lake, everything comes in. But now what happens is speed is generated. That's the most important part of the data mesh architecture, the speed and agility to get the business done. Yeah. So is it governance? It's very important, because what the business owner logic is, what the IT logic is, and how the data product is created. It's all governance model. Yes. Governance and security model. Yeah. No
That's
specific tool. I don't want to give a specific tool, but we as a company have seen that there are tools with Snowflake, Databricks, AWS has many of these services, right? I'll put some link in the description later on. All of these services can be used, but it's the end of the day, it's a little bit of database and with some rules defined. That's it.
that sounds amazing. Like it solves a very huge problem in a simpler and organized manner with a lot of control and security.
Correct. Correct. It's very
And
controlled. Yeah.
Raghav, can you give us some live example, maybe example which can be easily understandable for all? So
Yeah.
right now we discuss different scenarios, but an example, a practical example or implemented example, which can be very handy in understanding what we discussed till now.
Sure. So let's go the same example as invoices, right? Let's say we have three businesses. One is in Europe, business two is in Africa, business three is in Latin America, Argentina, So you have three businesses. All these three businesses are in three different databases today. Okay. So now they have such a nice model going on of invoices, right? Uh, but your topmost in the organization wants to see one invoices information, right? So you want to create a data product at the end of the day, right? So you set up rules in a way that you're talking to these three invoices informations, right? Create a data product, right? But when you're getting information out of these three, because you're not building a new data set, right? So if in a language we say we are creating a view, an SQL language we are creating a view, just piggybacking on the existing infrastructure, right? Piggyback on the
Yeah.
existing infrastructure, but you should know what invoices mean in Europe, what invoices mean in Africa, and what invoices. So you have decentralized format, which turned into one data product. Now you have speed
Right.
going on, right? And you take this data product, put it into production, and get it. You have to have some validation and quality rules checked on that, right? So get those quality rules. This is all done by IT, let's say. But the business logic, how the view needs to be stitched, is given by those three people.
So
So
it's just like simple example of currency. So we are doing the currency exchange based on the costs calculation in different countries. We are doing this stuff. So
yeah,
it's just similar to that.
correct. So now, and they have the voice, right? Now, before, let's say, otherwise, nobody's. The most important part is if you don't do this way, why do companies fail? They fail because, let's say, we create a centralized data team, create without asking anybody, create an invoice table, right? And we start giving it to the leadership. We all go into the meetings, and somebody in South Africa says that invoice amount is wrong. Why? Because you did not do the currency conversion on that field. And first of all, the column and attribute what you're using is wrong. In our country, when we use invoice, we use this particular column.
Right.
Yeah, it's a very standard problem, right? So the
Right.
mesh architecture is not a technical implementation, it is a business implementation. Yeah, again. And now everybody is like, okay, I provided the invoice. And when in the governance rules and policies, whenever have Europe questions, it would not be the centralized data person. It would be that person in Europe who should answer that questions. So that's what it
Yes.
is at the end of the day. Yeah. So it's a
Yeah.
little sketchy in the form of it's upcoming still, right? But do not look at it as a siloed data governance. Look at it as speed. Right? And once the structure is standard, yeah, I agree on we have to make it on standard platform. Yes. But till then, you have to let this flow. Otherwise, it will not grow as a company fast.
And with this data mesh concept, do you think like organizations are adapting their a governance structure within organization for implementing such a data governance model?
Yes, they are strongly going because there is an IT data governance, there's a business data governance. That's what I'm trying to get into. So the IT data governance, they get the tools, they have the standard definitions and all that. But the business data governance uh, teams have champions identified, are getting identified. Okay, from our entire Europe business, this person will be the data governance point person, right? So now they, in a way, are in the business data governance sector because they don't talk technology, they talk business, right?
Okay.
They don't talk technology. You don't have to talk technology. If, let's say, Tesla wants to make their brakes better, right? We need an expert on brakes. We don't need an expert on electric vehicles always doing brakes, right? So that's what it is. You should have a right brake expert telling what to do
Agree.
and then implement it. So that's how these models work. Yeah.
I would say perfectly stated, and you explained the entire concept in a very organized manner. Like we wanted to achieve a data governance, and you gave us a proper data governance in a governed manner. Viewers, again, I would like to conclude what Raghav emphasizes on. So, first is data mesh really helps in data governance. It brings in more integrity to your data. You have no repetitive kind of tables or information, which saves your cost, which saves your performance time, which saves like connecting data from different tables, which is not at all required. So, if you bring in data mesh in your organization, it will solve a huge problem of data governance and saves you a lot of time and costs. So thank you, Raghav, for sharing this wonderful information. And viewers, please give us feedback, or if you have any questions related to data mesh, you can ask us in form of comments or can directly write us to the mail mentioned in the description. Thank you, everyone. Keep watching DigiBytes.
Thank you so much. Take care.